Alright guys, we are down in the lab. Today we'll be installing the King Kong Cave mod. Things you'll get in your kit, you're going to get the cave itself, and you'll get a goodie bag. We'll go through this stuff step by step. Tools you'll need a 1/4-inch nut driver, a Phillips screwdriver, and a 11/32 nut driver. Those should be the only tools that you need. I don't believe there's anything else that you'll need. So we're going to dive right into this right away. Things we need, we're trying to get the cave over here. Things we need to take off to make our life a lot easier. We're going to start with the 11/32 nut driver. To take off this habit trail. Do you need to take this habit trail off? Not really, but it makes things a lot easier to install the cave. So we're going to unbolt that and get these washers. And what I noticed with King Kong, it seems like these habit trails don't sit flush. So just when you're taking these nuts off, just be careful. There's washers on top of these habit trails, and they could go flying. So you can't really see what I'm doing, but you kind of get the gist of it. You know, taking this off, taking that nut off, and then taking this washer off. And you can kind of see, like, these are kind of stringy. So just those two for this one. We'll put this one out over the way, and then what I like to do is I'll put the washer and the nut back where they were so I don't lose them on these habit trails, because I always take this stuff apart and then try to put it back together 4 months later and can't remember where things go. Put those back in, and then the next one we need to take off.
Go swab the decks.
Yeah, go swap the decks. Is this one, and this one we have to take off this plastic first to get to it. So this is where the Phillips screwdriver comes in, and unscrew here. And these parts won't be reused, so we can put these off to the side and then put them back in the goodie bag when we're done with everything, and throw it in your coin box. That way you don't lose it. So we take those off. So we have these posts here. This is the next habit trail we need to take off. So we can take off this one. We'll loosen this one. And mine are already loose. I didn't really tighten everything back down because I knew I was going to be taking it apart again. So I get that nut out of the way. We will be reusing that nut.
Hey, King Kong, that big dopey lizard is talking crap about you the other side of the game room. You better step up.
Goodness, that's enough. And then we're going to take this one off back here. And this one's going to be like the same way how that front big one was. It's kind of be springy. So just be aware that when you get the nut, that washer is going to be up. Get that washer out. This habit trail comes off. Put that washer and nut back. This nut we don't need to put back on because we have to get all this stuff off. Alright, the next step is to remove this habit trail. Again, this is only 3 nuts. This one behind the Kong gong. You kind of see it. So we'll start with this front one up here. We'll take this one off. It has a washer also. Take that washer off. Then we'll go to the next one, which is here. I believe this one has a washer on it. On my game it does. I had an extra washer when I was putting it back together, so I assume this is where it went. So nut, then This washer's kind of a pain to get off. Best bet is to have like a magnetic screwdriver maybe. Kind of pull it off. There we go. So get that one off. Put that stuff off the side. And then this last one, when I took it off the first time, the whole post came out with it. It was super tight from the Stern factory. Now I've kind of worked mine to get it tight on the bottom and kind of loose on top. So same thing, nut, washer, and then this habit trail just lifts out. And I'll explain how it goes back in. There's a little bit of a trick when we put it back in. All right, so we have this. We have the habit trails off. The next thing we need to do is we need to take these posts off, and we need to loosen this nut also. So you do need, what is this? A 5/16 nut driver just for this nut back here. I totally forgot about this one. So we take this one off, and this is going to give us the flex in the plastic to remove these posts. So we take this up, and you can kind of see there's 2 Phillips screws that need to come out, and these will go into our goodie bag. We won't be using these again. Phillips screw, take this post off, take this post off, so there's that. Alright, so now we need to install our Kong cave mod. So with your Kong, you can kind of see it's in 2 pieces with this wire. So what I do is this wire is going to feed back here through this opening, and how I usually do it is kind of get my Kong mod together and feed this wire down, and the wire goes on the inside of the posts. And it's a little tight, but you know, kind of like that. I'll put this down and put our Kong mod on top. And kind of take this off and go like that. So we have it like so. And now we're going to reinstall our habit trails. We're going to start with this one first. And see, this one's like bouncy, so I want to make sure we get that washer on, and this on. Tighten that, finger tight, and then this one, put this nut on, back on where it came off from, kind of finger tighten that down. And then we're going to put this one back on, this big giant habit trail. You kind of see, like, kind of fits how it is. And this is the part I was talking about. So these prongs go inside of here, right? And it kind of goes, oh, hold on, we gotta go back. We gotta put this nut back on. We can tighten this one So now we're going to put this habit trail. Kind of line it up. Prongs go in here, front one up there. Then we can kind of move this into position. Right? And I usually, when I put this habit trail back on, I start with the back. So I'll put this washer on, put this nut on, and this is all kind of finger tight right now. And then the middle one that's behind the cave, it's really difficult to see.
Put the banana down and fight!
So washer and then nut. If you have magnetic tools, it makes things a whole lot easier. Just trying to get it to start to thread. And then the front one. So now we're going to tighten this middle one down in the back. And then we kind of do this with this one. Now we can tighten this, tighten all these back up. Check this one. And then the front one, we always want to try and make sure it's in the middle of the in-lane. Tighten that one up. Now we can put this habit trail back on. We have to take off this nut, because this is where it goes, and the washer, and then this one back here. And washer, no. Washer, nut. This one we just tighten up, and then this one we want to center in the lane. Okay, so top side's done. I'm going to turn the game off. We're going to pause the video and go to the underside. Alright guys, we're on the underside of the playfield, so I'm going to show you how to hook up power. So in your goodie bag, you're going to get these things here, these pieces. I'm going to kind of go through it. So if you want to hook up your cave mod to just the GI, and it'll be on whenever the GI interacts and stuff like that, you'll have your flame lights, you'll have the red glow from inside the cave. What you do is you take your 1/4-inch nut driver and you take out this bulb here where we fed the wire through, and we're going to pull this bulb out, and we're going to put our pigtail in. And right now, the way the game is coded, with the LEDs that are in the eyes, they can only take power one way. So this is a a reverser that basically reverses the polarity to the from the GI to the eyes. If you ever notice that your eyes aren't lit and you did a code update, just remove this piece and then plug it back in and your eyes will light again. Stern sometimes reverses the polarity, which doesn't affect their LEDs, but for those real tiny ones that I use for the eyes, they only take power one way. So that's how you would hook it up for regular GI. It'll be on all the time. If you want to hook it up to the cave insert and it'll flash when the cave insert is lit and stuff like that, you're gonna hook it up to here. And what you do is you take this out, this one out, and I believe Sky King designed something like these. I'm going to give him credit where credit's due for these alligator clips, so they don't kind of like touch one another when we power them in. So you put the insert this way. It's going to mount like this, and you're going to get a longer screw that's going to help you grab into the wood. Just remember, if you ever remove this mod, to switch back. This hole is underneath the rail, so it shouldn't go through, but it is long enough where it's at the top of the playfield. So then you take your alligator clips and kind of do this, right? And I'm not a huge fan of alligator clips, but I figured this was the easiest way if you wanted to light off the insert quickly. And you'll see like the alligator clips kind of go into these notches, and there's ridges in the notches that don't allow the alligator clips to slip. So then screw. And we just screw this in. And I would say this is my mess up. So when I did the first prototype, I never attached it to the insert. So this wire is a little bit too short. So the guys that got the first dozen that are trying to install them, probably the making of this video, I'm sending these extenders out to you today in the mail, and you should get them hopefully by the weekend maybe. And that'll kind of get your, if you want to go off the insert, that'll get your extension, because this wire's just not, on the prototype it was a lot longer and it reached, but the wires I'm using now are slightly shorter. So we will unhook this. These will go out in the mail for you guys, and then anyone after the first 12 will get this in their package for the extension. So we'll plug this in to that, and we're going to tighten this up. This nut driver sucks. Kind of get these wires like tucked behind here so they don't get pinched coming down. And that's it. And then we're going to pause the video. We're going to boot the game up so you can kind of see the cave mod all done. Alright guys, game's powered up. Cave is installed. And that's it. You know, it looks, I like it. I mean, people like it so much that they copy it. You know, whatever. But it's cool. The next batch should go out soon. If you guys have any issues or any comments or anything else, you can always reach out to me on Pinside or via Facebook. That's it. Hope you guys enjoy.